الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم انفعنا بما علمتنا وعلمنا ما ينفعنا وزدنا علما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for enabling us to pray the whole Salah in Jama'ah and then to sit for this gathering, the gathering of the angels, such a gathering in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is happy, the best of place being the masjid. As advertised on the poster, inshallah, the talk will be on the deception of the shaitan. With the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have been collaborating with the masajid on behalf of the Birmingham through our networks. Last week was the 1 year anniversary since we started. Alhamdulillah, every Sunday, every weekend, we keep the program. We do 2 programs all over Birmingham. We work with at least about 12, 13 masajid. We also have a number of masajid who are waiting to work with us, where we give the platform to the young generation of ulama in Birmingham. And on our channel at Alien Networks, you will see at least about 25 to 30 ulama, different ulama, all within Birmingham or British born and bred, in doing talks. By giving them the platform, we are able to see what they are capable of and the message which is a responsibility on the shoulder, they are able to dispense that message in the correct way. A lot of the time, it's the people who we sit down with, eat with, talk with, are the ulama who graduated from the local masajid. And we're very fortunate today, alhamdulillah, to have one of the local born and bred Alim, Sheikh, Mawlana Ridwan Sahib, Ridwan Sheikh. He, mashallah, studied at Jami'atul Ilm at Leicester, 2013. Mashallah, he went for 1 year Jum'at, and after that, he has been doing the work of Deen, the service of Deen at Darul Ilm Birmingham, our place where we are based within Actis Park. That's a new location for the past few years. Alhamdulillah, he has been one of the teachers who is contributing a lot to the place via teaching as well as admin. He's, mashallah, now he is engaged with a number of other activities as well as engagements, mashallah. A young alim who has much to offer to our communities, and that's why we actually launched this Al-Ilm Networks, connecting the communities, where we give the opportunity to the young generation of ulama as well as the masajid. Every masjid has 5 to 7 classes, including this one, I think, maybe a bit different timing. Every masjid has the 2 hours classes. We have a number of students come to these masajid. These are the responsibility of the ulama to look after them, and it's an aman, it's a trust for ourselves. We send them for 2 hours so that they could be taught the deen, the Quran, the hadith, and the sharia. So, after having to give the platform to the young ulama, we've given platform to the maktab students, where every program we have 2 students from the maktab to recite. By doing this, it actually shows us how much these ulama have been teaching the young generation, how much they have been learning. A lot of the time we see, mashallah, they recite, and we listen to the takbir, they think, subhanallah, beautiful takbir, beautiful recitation, which shows there's so much effort has been going on behind closed doors.
First of all, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You can request all the brothers to come close up the walls, inshallah, make like a semicircle. Inshallah, this being close physically will include being close in our hearts, inshallah. That's what the brothers Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah wa nashhadu anna Muhammadan 'abduhu wa rasuluhu. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الشيطان لكم عدو فاتخذوه عدوا. According to the estimates, there's about 7.6 billion people on the earth at the moment, human beings. But when we look back into the Quran and in history, we find that that was not always the case. Before Adam alayhi salam had been created, before Allah had created Adam alayhi salam, this world was inhabited by the jinn only. There were jinn and maybe some animals, but it was just the jinn. And the jinn didn't do a very good job in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at that time. A majority of them were disbelievers in Allah and they disobeyed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there was a very small select group which used to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. And out of them, one of the most worshipping, the one that used to worship the most was Iblis. Now Iblis is a name you've all heard of. So I'm going to do a brief history, quick background of Iblis, and then we'll look at what his aims are. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made the announcement, as we read in Surah Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. I'm going to make an agent, a deputy in the earth. I'm going to put someone who's going to represent the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the earth. So Iblis, having been the most worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of all of the jinn, he thought, it's going to be me. I'm going to be the one that's going to be selected as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's special deputy, his agent on the earth. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam. And He created Adam alayhi salam's form. And before He put the ruh inside, Iblis came and saw this form of Adam alayhi salam. And as you know, the jinn are made of fire. And he saw this creation made of clay. And he thought that this thing, what, this is useless. Allah's going to make this thing His agent on earth, the representative of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the whole planet earth. This thing. خَلَقْتَهُ مِن نَارٍ خَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Quran what Shaitan said, that you have created him from clay and I was created from fire. I'm better than this guy. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the ruh inside Adam alayhi salam, and He said, وَإِذْ قُلْنَا لِلْمَلَائِكَةِ اسْجُدُوا لِآدَمَ فَسَجَدُوا إِلَّا إِبْلِيسَ. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded all those who are in heaven, all the angels and Iblis, that when I put the ruh inside Adam alayhi salam and put the soul inside, you're all to bow down to him. So they all bow down except Iblis. Abba, he refused. And this angered Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala very much. And when Iblis saw the anger of Allah, because he had been worshipping Allah for so many years, he knew that if I don't do something now, if I don't save myself now, I'm finished. So in a quick wittedness, he said, "Oh Allah, grant me pardon until the day of judgment." So he said, "Okay, you're pardoned." As soon as he got the pardon, Iblis said that I will misguide them all. This Adam and all his children, the cause of which I have lost my favor with Allah, I'm going to misguide them all. And from that day, the crusade, the war against mankind started. And it's because of this jealousy that Shaitan has been holding on to for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. He misguided Adam alayhi salam and Hawa alayhi salam in Jannah, made them eat from the forbidden tree, and then we came to this planet. But the grudge didn't end there. He went to Musa alayhi salam. He went to Isa alayhi salam. He went to Ibrahim alayhi salam to try to misguide them all. He went and whispered into the ears of Fir'aun against Musa alayhi salam. He came in the form of an old man to prevent Ibrahim alayhi salam from carrying out Allah's command to slaughter his son. He went to the village of Isa alayhi salam and said that, oh look, this Mary, how did she give birth? She must be a bad woman. Until this day, this attack carries on. Even at the time of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it's mentioned in the books of Hadith that once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was reading Salah. He was reading Salah, and then suddenly inside his Salah, he reached forward and he grabbed something. And the Sahaba saw him. He reached forward and he grabbed something and then he let it go. And then he carried on with the Salah. So after the Salah finished, the Sahaba came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him, Ya Rasulullah, we saw you do something that we've never seen you do before. So he said that Shaitan, Iblis, came to me to distract me. So I grabbed him. And if it was not for my respect for Sulaiman alayhi salam, if you remember, Sulaiman alayhi salam was given control over all the jinn. And if it wasn't for my respect for Sulaiman alayhi salam, I would have tied him up in the middle of Medina for all the people to hit. Shaitan's tactics have been updating with time. In the past, he used to come and try to convince you in a form. Now he doesn't need to do that. He's had thousands and thousands of years to study how humans operate, how to influence, how to incite, how to seduce man into doing things, how to seduce women into doing things. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, the ayat which are recited in my khutbah, that indeed Shaitan for you, he's an enemy. So treat him as an enemy. One of the most dangerous things that Shaitan is doing today is making us forget that he exists. Make us forget that Shaitan exists. This is the most dangerous thing he's doing to us. If you just look around, you see in our schools, in our children, in our workplace, there are many influences of Shaitan, but we don't realize that this is the influence of Shaitan. For example, the invention of social media. Just an example. Now I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, social media is haram and don't touch it, whatever. That's a discussion for another day about what social media is and the potential dangers and benefits. But what social media has allowed is for the messages and the waswasas and the evil incitements of Shaitan to end up in our hands. Through advertisements, through videos, all these things. There was a time where there would be someone sitting, writing with their scroll and their ink pen and their feather against Islam. That, oh, Islam is like this and Islam is like this and don't follow this religion. And that they would put this up in their town hall or whatever, and then someone may walk past and they may know how to read, they may not know how to read, and then they would see it and maybe they'll go against Islam. Now what happens? You make a video, you put it on TikTok. It comes up in your For You page. This message is for you. There's doubts in Islam. Now having doubts in Islam is not something wrong. Having doubts in Islam is not something wrong. It used to happen all the time. But we need to go to the ulama to have the doubts addressed. So let's look at the different ways. Iblis has been attacking us, especially in this modern age. He attacks us on different levels and through different people. Sometimes it's in whispers that he whispers into your ears. These are like thoughts of doubt. Yeah? When you have self-doubt, low self-esteem, a feeling of helplessness, these are whispers from Shaitan. This is attack on a personal level. When it comes to you and you've missed your Fajr, for example. You've missed your Fajr and it comes to you and said, oh, what kind of Muslim are you? You miss Fajr every single day. Tries to put you down for your effort. He may come to another person who's missed his Fajr. Oh, don't worry about it. Allah is the most merciful. You'll be okay. Just leave it. You'll do qada later. Makes you procrastinate. Yes, you missed your Fajr, but it makes you think of it small. Think your sins are small. Yeah? Makes you belittle them. And sometimes, when you make a mistake, he looks at how you are as a person. Sometimes you make a major mistake. You've swore at someone. You've swore at someone, or you've betrayed someone, or you've lied to someone. And then he comes and says, how is Allah going to forgive you? These are all to put you down and to remove your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To remove your hope in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To make you disheartened. This is an attack on a personal level. Then there's in a household. He attacks you in the household. You come home from work, you come home from school. You come home from work and your wife hasn't done something in the household that she normally does. Shaitan comes to you and says, what does she even do at home? She doesn't work. Yeah? She just has to take care of the kids, just do the dishes. She can't even do that. This is Shaitan talking. This is not your logic, this is not your brain. This is Shaitan talking. Because if we stop and we think for a moment, everyone can have a bad day. So many things can happen during the day. We don't know about everything which is going on in the home, how many disasters our wives are preventing at home, the kids are running around, they've made a mess, all that stress. We don't know of that. We're at work. But as soon as we come home, then Shaitan is right in our ears. Oh, look at this. This hasn't been done. The dish has been done. The clothes which I said are not being ironed. This. Because Iblis has been sitting there. Shaitan has been sitting there waiting and observing all these things. Waiting to come tell you about it as soon as you walk in that door. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes you've had a good day and you come home, but Shaitan has been sitting on your wife's shoulder and saying, oh look, all these kids have been winding you up, where's your husband? Yeah? Oh, you need this for the house, where's your husband? This thing broke, you told your husband about it, why hasn't he done it? He's so useless. She's been sitting on your wife's shoulder. And then she comes to you with all those whispers from the devil, and she comes, and as soon as you walk into the door, what's she doing? You didn't get this done, you didn't get that done. It's not really her speaking. It's the Shaitan that's turned her against you. Because one of the things that Shaitan and the Shayateen, there's not just one, he's got a whole army. All his children, they're also on the same crusade. They break up households, they break up families, and they disrupt Islamic education. The more Muslim families are broken, the more likely the children that grow up in that family are to turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The more husbands or wives are broken, the more likely households are become broken. And the more Islamic education is disrupted, then the less people will know about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy, and have less trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is on a domestic level, at a personal level, domestic level, and then we have a societal level, where we have jealousy. We see our neighbors, they have something. We see people out and about, they have something, and Shaitan comes and says, oh look, they don't deserve that thing. Why should they have that thing? But there's jealousy against these people. Yeah? Sometimes it happens in the best of places. Sometimes in masajid. Sometimes you get someone, he reads salah all the time. He comes to the masjid all the time, and then a new person comes into the masjid and he sits in your place. Your place. So Iblis comes then, Shaitan comes in and said, look, you're here all the time, you spend so much time here. Look, this person has come and taken your spot. This is Iblis talking. In reality, all the masajid are, all the